everybody, and welcome back to another wonderful round brought to you by the Calypso Racing community. This time we're doing something a little bit more endurance focused. It's the 2-hour solo endurance event at Spa-Francorchamps running the GT3 class. This event is brought to you by OMES, the Oil Mop Environmental Services Limited. Visit oilmoptt.com for more information. Thank you very much to our title sponsor to be able to bring you this broadcast this evening. Thank you very much to the Calypso Racing community for having me, Sagar Bakshi, aka The Real High, for another wonderful event that y'all are hosting. Now, with all of that jazz out of the way, and don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. Now that all that jibber jabber is out of the way, we can go ahead and go trackside, where I think we have drivers on some outlaps right now, soon to be flyers. Let's take a look at some of the race details that we have prepared. For the 2-hour solo endurance around Spa, brought to you by OMES, we have a track length of 4.31 miles, or 7 kilometers long. It was founded in 1921. It's been the current layout since 2022. We're located in Francorchamps, Belgium. Total of 19 corners, 9 to the right, 10 to the left, 103 meters or 337 feet of elevation change with a 0.65 long mile straightaway, or 1.05 kilometers. Keys to the race are going to be controlling tire temps, managing them from the top of the Kemmel Straight all the way down to the bottom of the hill. It's going to be quite a challenge for the drivers to work a full rotation up in the heat cycle. Cool them down and then do it all over again. Carry the momentum. Once you get to the top side of the track, it is best to keep on doing so. Once you get to Les Combes after the Kemmel Straight, it is imperative that you keep on riding that momentum wave from one sector into the next. And number 3, you have to execute a perfect pit stop here. Spa-Francorchamps is unforgiving. If you get a drive-through penalty or any type of penalty associated with the pit lane, you are in for a world of hurt. Thank goodness for the track limits that we do have around here so far, because I don't think things are going to get too spicy as far as track limits violations are concerned. That being said, take a look at these qualifying times for the solo lone qualifying. Coming up the hill in the Ford Mustang down the Kemmel Straight, all the way up into 6th gear, it'll be Elder Nui who tops the charts right now in front of Jaden Harrison out in P2, Declan Daniel in 3rd, Sahinder Singh in 4th position, Ricardo Serrano Rivera in 5th, Paul Ordonez in 6th position, Adam Pinero in 7th, Taj Edwards in 8th, Kurt Moss in 9th, Scott Pinero in 10th, Juan Manuel Carriac in 11th, Ivan Cook in 12th, Diego Gutierrez in 15th, and many more drivers who have yet to set a time. That will be rounding it out for the drivers that have set a time so far. Edvars Kiziks bumps himself up into 3rd in front of Declan Daniel and behind Jaden Harrison currently. This Ford Mustang that we're on board with right now is improving through Sector 1 and 2. Potentially has the fastest of all in Sector 3. Just the tiniest of lift going into Blanchimont. mounting the curb through the bus stop chicane. Without fear, Adam Pinero goes up into fourth. A new fast lap of 1:15.087. Only in my wildest dreams could I pull out a lap time like that. The 2.3K iRating driver of Nui is putting us all to shame right now. Even a gentleman like Jaden Harrison only could do 53 thousandths closest. Holy smokes. That was a 1:15.14 for Jaden Harrison out at the line. Paul Ordonez. Declan Daniel chips into third. Paul Ordonez in fourth position. Can Edvards advance his charge? He's gone good for sectors 3 and 4. Brings it home to the line with some improvement. Is it enough? Last lap, best lap. 2:16.26. Not good enough to advance his position to the second row of the grid, unfortunately. This is the man we're going to keep our eye on all evening long. Jaden Harrison calls it done for the evening even. Into pit lane right now. 53 thousandths back. Now, qualifying doesn't mean everything as far as the race is concerned. It is a very long race, but you're able to consistently pull out 2:15s and even a 2:14.777. Holy smokes, this alien has come out of space. From where has Elder Nori climbed out from the depths of 2:14.777, best over Jaden Harrison by 0.3 of a second. Unbelievable charge. Declan Daniel in third position. Paul Ordonez in fourth position. And I think we do have the results from qualifying that we can show you. There's the gap. Elder Nuri, the number 29 privateer, 2:14.777 in front of Jaden Harrison by 0.3 of a second. Then Declan Daniel 1 second back. Paul Ordonez 1.1 was the gap there. Then Taj Edwards. Kexlix. Kazeeks. We're going to go with Kazeeks in sixth. Adam Pinero in seventh. Benson Sunday in eighth. Sahinder Singh in ninth. Ricardo Lovera in 10th. Andrew Marsan in 11th. Luke Lazama in 12th. Kurt Moss in 13th. Juan Kariak in 14th. Julian Narce in 15th. Scott Pinero in 16th. Even Cook in 17th. Luis Gonzalez in 18th. Kavan Green in 19th. Diego Gutierrez in 20th position. Holy Toledo. And we still have more. Daniel D. Roberts, Rogerio Solera, Louis Ramilton, Monet Dupoy, and Mikhail Xavier Charles. And here we go behind the safety car, beginning the 2-hour endurance race, folks. In green, Nori has a great leapfrog against the rest of the field, with Declan Daniel is a driver caught sleeping behind, as third place is barely his for the moment. Jaden Harrison trying to challenge up ahead, but is caught out by that race start. Ordonez in fourth. Kizix in fifth position has gained one. Taj Edwards down one. Adam Pinero and Benson Sunday going side by side right now. Coming down the Kemmel Straight, leading down into Lacombs. For the very first time tonight, more side by side action further behind as the drivers go wheel to wheel between 67 and the 133. Will be Ricardo Serrano Rivera and his opponent Luke Lozama. There it is up the inside, looking at Poulon. Has a car gone deep and wide? No, not nearly, because the 133 AMG manages to stay out in front, just in front of Singh. Oh, and there's a big tank flapper coming through Blanchimont, and multiple cars are involved in that incident. Opening lap, cold tires, whatever you might see it fit. Adam Pinero up the inside line, looking like he wanted to make a move on Kazix. And it's my good friend, the Silver Turkey. Gobble, gobble, my friend. Hopefully you're having a fantastic Thanksgiving vacation or holiday. Asking if I'm feeling all right. I'm a little nasally these days, but I am living the dream right now. Watching some racing is where I'd want to be. Watching some racing is what I get to do this very fine evening. There's the intervals on the left-hand side of your screen right now. Movement for position all around the board. There's a three-way tussle gone sideways. Side by side going down into La Source. 67 holds on. That's Luke Lozama's car. Oh, big moment from the Ferrari behind Roberts. In through No Name for the third time now. Gap has opened up to around 4.3 seconds from Newey back to Jaden Harrison right now, and Declan Daniel not too far back himself in this battle for the remaining podium position with himself and Kesix. As we go back to that battle between Kesix and Declan Daniel coming into the bus stop chicane for the third time now. 2:15.841 being the new race lap. Holy Toledo. Jaden Harrison's best lap being a 2:16.57 that last time around. Three-way squabble here continues between Roberts, Lavera, and Luke Lozama in the back wing. Oh, bobbing, weaving every which way down the Kemmel Straight isn't going to help your cause. Maybe cause for collision, even. Now running in single file line has to be the top priority. Long time left in this race. Plenty of time to get moves and overtakes done. It looks like Luke Lozama is exercising the patience necessary now. He's just got to wait for a mistake from the car in front, which will happen eventually, but maybe have to sell a dummy here or there to get that one to work. Daniel Roberts is no slouch himself. All right, 2:17.2 is his best lap. Up to the inside at the bus stop chicane, Luke Lozama licked the stamp when it was available and sent it. Now let's look forward to the Andrew Marsan and Daniel Roberts battle, as that seemed to have inverted positions very quickly. Back-to-back battles here, coming down the Kemmel Straight, leading into Lacombe's. Off track there for Luke Lozama, had to yield the position to Lavera. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Biggest positions gained and lost right now goes to Daniel Roberts, who's up 13 positions. Started from the very back of the pack, worked their way up into 8th position, excuse me. 5.6K I rating driver with an A license. Beautiful sights and sounds brought to you by iRacing. All this battling between Lavera and Lozama is bringing Ordonez back into the mix, driving the Acura NSX. Lozama thought about sending it up the inside line at the bus stop chicane. Backed out of it though. Not quite enough overlap there. And now we're really into the rhythm and rhyme of Spa-Francorchamps. Luke looking like he wants to pounce yet again on Lavera. Maybe finally deciding to work together. Luke Luzama realizing that we are catching up to Andrew Marsan. And Paulo Ordonez almost runs in the back of Luke Luzama there at turn 1. He's going to lose out a whole heap of time. Luzama looking for the overlap. Can't find it at this opportunity. A little too far back to make one happen at Brussels. Still running in single file line. As Benson Sunday gets by Daniel D. Roberts, excuse me. .2:15.8 being the new fast lap, and there is an incident. And that'll be Edward Kazeeks. Oh, and just mounted the sausage curb, spun it around, got nipped in the boot. Ooh. And that's what happened there. Back to this three-way battle between Luke Lozama, Paul Ordonez, and Lavera. Coming through for the 9th time now. Gap has kind of slinkied its way back open out of Lavera's grasp. Controlling car has become Luke Lozama, with Paul Ordonez trying to posture his way forward. On board with the Ordonez Luke Lozama battle. Coming into the bus stop chicane, things are looking pretty neat and tidy between the pair of drivers, and now the trio have all come together one more time. Side by side between... Nope, that was just a complicit overtake between Taj Edwards and Daniel D. Roberts there. Looking back at the Lavera-Lozama battle, that inverse 4 position coming down the Kemmel Straight. And I wonder again how much of this is just complicit overtakes. We're only 22 minutes into a very long endurance race. At some point, you just want to stop battling with the car behind you and say, let's just do our hot laps, let's settle things down a little bit, and get into our rhythm of where we might actually end up falling. 22 minutes into this, these 3 drivers have decided that they want to leave it all on the racetrack because they are pushing to their heart's content right now. We're looking at Ricardo Lavera, Luke Lozama, and their little ballet. One, three, three, nearly into the rear end of the 67. Narrowly avoids that contact. Luke Lozama dips a couple wheels off into the kitty litter there. That's going to allow the 133 to have an opportunity to look along the inside of number 67, but hasn't really done it so far. You're absolutely right there in chat. Daniel D. Roberts is now up 16 positions overall. The 5.6K rated driver is shaking and baking things up. He's now 2 seconds back, 1.2 seconds back from Adam Pinero. Side by side between Julian Narce and Scott Pinero right before we get to Blanchimont. Again, there's got to be some level of agreement there. 25 minutes into this race to go side by side at one of the fastest, most dangerous parts of the racetrack, decided against, as I believe Julian Narce backs out of that conversation starter. Sahinder Singh, Diego Gutierrez into the bus stop chicane. Sahinder pulls out a beautiful over-under on Gutierrez and a half second to boot, driving his McLaren into a better spot than it was previously. The Pinero brothers nowhere on site, on track together at the same time. Separated by 8 on the leaderboard right now. The charging Daniel D. Roberts now behind Adam Pinero. 2:15.5, and there goes through the number 79. Quick, fast, in a hurry on the long charge for the very long race tonight. Oh! And there goes Daniel D. Roberts back to the garage. But just before that, we had the battle between Benson Sunday, Luke Lazama, and Andrew Marsan. Get a quick incident replay and see what happened here. So gruesome we can't even show it on camera apparently. Daniel D. Roberts might be out of this race. Up and down the field, closest 3 cars on track together. Luke Lozamo behind Andrew Marsan, Benson Sunday on the charge now is Luke Lozamo to the inside line, 67 holding on to the bus stop chicane and found the daylight where it was not to be found. Pulls out nearly a half-second stop. Now Benson Sunday going to be on the charge, looking to do something very similar now that he's seen it done and dusted on a slower opponent. Now, again, looking at the Delta, Luke Lozama still leads this trio. Marsan in front of Benson Sunday. Sunday is just a half second back right now from Marsan. Lavera just a little further back, 4/10 of good right now from Lavera to Ordonez, but Benson Sunday has to do all the heavy lifting right now. Two 16.673 being the new fast lap from Pinero. This train of 5 cars continues to chug along Spa-Francorchamps. Got deep in the middle of this pack is going to be Benson Sunday. Driving the lonely McLaren of this 5-way. And inching closer to Marsan in front, driving the AMG. Slipping and sliding into the gravel trap. It was going to slow down the charge of Marsan, but not nearly as much as I think Sunday needed. He backs off, coming down the hill in towards Pouan. All the drivers kicking up a little bit of kitty litter onto the racetrack. Since iRacing's latest update, you can actually feel the grip difference when you have a little bit of that kitty litter caught onto the tires. Now the gap has opened up to around half a second between Benson Sunday and Andrew Marsan. Battle between 7th and 8th position rests solely on the shoulders of these Goliaths. Kurt Moss pulls out a new personal fast lap, a 117 or 217.08 the last time around. On board now with Paul Ordonez as we chase down Benson Sunday. Coming through Blanchimont, it looks calm, cool, and collected in the bus stop chicane. It's nothing but the 48 falls in line right in front of Benson Sunday. Now Paul, who's running about a half second quicker than the field around him right now, is going to chop it up with Andrew Marsan next. Topping it up left, right, and center, trying to find a which way by. Pulls out a sneaky over-under right before Brussels. Gets the move done and dusted on Marsan. Now Benson has a decision to make. Fall in single file line or go for an attacking maneuver fast. I think that decision's been made for him already as Benson Sunday. One down from where he started this event, in 9th position right now. Marsan up 3 on the good. Luke Lozama up 6 tonight. Diego Gutierrez gets one done and dusted on, I believe that'll be green. Or is that Kezik's on his recovery drive? That is Kezik's on his recovery drive. Back to the Sunday Lavera midway battle. Marsan leads over Benson Sunday, Ricardo Serrano Rivera, Scott Pinero, and Julian Narcé. Quieting down is the racetrack here at Spa-Francorchamps. 40 minutes already underway of the 2-hour race. See if we can't get a replay of what happened to Keswick's. Oh. Caught in the middle of the track there, but not too much to worry about. And what happens coming up the hill then that causes him to turn into a Beyblade? Oh no, just underperforming tires. That's good driving as a 3-4-5 of Kavan Thomas Green stays out of the way of the cars on the lead lap. Back over to this 5-way squabble. One, 3, 3 looked like he wanted to make a move up the inside at La Source. Thought better of it. Waited for a better opportunity to present itself. Potentially coming down the Kemmel Straight will be that better opportunity. Glued front to rear right now. The 133 moves over to the inside line, coming down into Lacombs, and that will be a move done and dusted as poofs of pocket sand get thrown up behind to emphasize the dusted part. 45 minutes into this one, 2:16.781. This is the race pace out of Elder Nui that last lap around, though his best of the race being at 15.52 currently. Jaden Harrison running about 16 seconds back from P1. 11.8 seconds back, correction. 16 seconds back is going to be Declan Daniel. Looking to the inside line, potentially going for the overlap there. 133, heavier and hotter on the brakes. It's a move done around the number 11 of Andrew Marsan. Benson Sunday, the closest driver on track to this battling Marsan Lavera squabble. Just 6/10 back, turning that into 4/10 back now. Looking forward at Taj Edwards chasing down Luke Lozama. Last laps around nearly identical. 2:17.2, 2:17.2. Little puffs of dust being kicked up from the driver's back here. Ordonez still leads over Lavera, over Marsan and Benson Sunday. How long is that going to last? It looks like the stamp was licked and sent, paid for on a Saturday, it looks like. And Ordonez runs out of room. Lavera falls forward into 7th place. I believe Ordonez will still actually have a slowdown penalty to serve by the end of this lap. Add insult to injury there. serves it very diligently on the inside line, covering off any attack into the bus stop chicane. Jaden Harrison now with the yellow flag. Narcisse into pit lane. Number 112 out from 13th position. Luke Lazama and Taj Edwards still running nose to tail in the bus stop chicane now. Luke Lazama's up 7 positions on the good for tonight. Taj Edwards only down the 1. But he'd happy to see that turn into a 0 right about now. Through the divot and the dip of a Rouge up the hill into Radion for the 24th time. Drivers completing nearly half of this event so far. And we see the first break in the pit stop cycle. Ricardo Serrano Rivera down pit road. And that should be the first of the scheduled pit stops. Unless some drivers are on an alternate strategy tonight. Running a short splash and dash as their first stop. And then running 2 longer pit stops. The car should make it roughly 55 minutes. Now Jaden Harrison comes down pit lane. Is this the only shot that he's got to perform an undercut on Elder Nui to bring down a nearly insurmountable 8+ second gap? Jaden Harrison tumbles down the order as they get their service. Silver Turkey says, all I can say is doo 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 doo. Is that the Jaws theme music? Because I hear it too. It is mounting up to be something. Taj Edwards, Luke Lozama going after it. The Benson Sunday, Andrew Marsan battle. Drivers both in Calypso racing, but Elder Nui now into the pits. So that undercut that Jaden Harrison was trying to perform, unable to do so. Jaden weaving a little bit down the straightaway, trying to generate some sort of heat into those tires. Luke Lozama the driver from Trinidad and Tobago, 67, now comes down into the pits. Whole bunch of pit lane callers: Elder Nui, Adam Pinero, Paul Ordonez, Marsan, Luke Lozama, Diego Gutierrez as well, all in pit row. It doesn't look like Luke Lozama's got the green light yet. There he goes. Silver Turkey says, no, that's the Max Verstappen theme music. Ah, okay. Looking at the live timing now, things have become a little bit quieter now. Declan Daniel now takes to the pits himself. Well, actually, Taj Edwards stays out on the racetrack. You hear the squeaking of the windshield wipers. Declan Daniel, Benson Sunday, both in the pits. Is Taj Edwards playing a fuel saving strategy? Seconds. If he can turn that into 28 seconds by the end of this race, the BMW of Taj Edwards could have it. That's a long way to go and a lot of fuel to save. Switch over to Ordonez. As we come out of pit row, that's Benson Sunday. And Paul Ordonez basically getting right on through on Benson Sunday, coming out of pit road. Close on exit, but I think Ordonez definitely had the pace necessary to get out and stay out ahead. There's Taj Edwards now into pit lane, so that'll unleash Elder Nui. Into P1 of this event. Jaden Harrison, the driver, to get into P2 as he gets past Taj. Declan Daniel in third, followed by Adam Pinero in fourth. Taj Edwards comes out in fifth ahead of Luke Lozama. Paul Ordonez will be in seventh place. Then we have Benson Sunday in eighth, Andrew Marsan in ninth. Edwards Keezix. Edwards Keezix. Rounding out your top 10. Ricardo Serrano Rivera be in 11th. Scott Pinero in 12th. Surinder Singh in 13th. Julian Arce in 14th. Kurt Moss 15th. Diego Gutierrez in 16th. Rodrigo Sola, in 17th. Kevin Tomas Green in 18th. Ivan Cook in 19th. Daniel D. Roberts. Is they still actually running? No, they are not. But you know who is still running is the Julian Arce Kurt Moss battle. MR looking big and bountiful in the rear view mirrors of that Ferrari, but looks to the inside line. Can they go completely side by side through Corporate Paul Ferrer? I believe they do. Now into the most high-speed and dangerous part of the racetrack, Blanchimont. Someone's got to yield, and it won't be the AMR Vantage. Kurt Moss finds one tiny mistake in Julian Narcé's armor and poked and prodded at it until it was no more. Julian Arce gets demoted down into 15th position. Kurt Moss up 1 into 14th, still down 1 for the day from where they started this event in 13th position. Sindhu Singh holds on to that marquee for now. He's up the road by 1.2 seconds. Just as we get through the hour interval mark, Elder Nui leads the charge by 25 seconds nearly over Jaden Harrison J. Declan Daniel in P3, Adam Pinero round out the top 4. Taj Edwards in 5th, Luke Mazama in 6th, Paul Ordonez in 7th, Benson Sunday in 8th, Andrew Marsan in 9th, and Edwards Kiesix round out the top 10. Has Benson undercut Marsan? No, because everybody's only pit the one time so far. Ricardo. Hold on one second. Ricardo Solera past Ricardo Serrano. Rodrigo Solera past Ricardo Serrano for P16. That will do it. Because Marsan was ahead the last time we were on them. We are checking the data. We are checking. We are checking. Here's Benson entering the pits. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Here's Luke getting by Benson. No, I think that was the order. I think that was the order. Has Benson undercut Marsan? Yes. Yes. That is all correct. I don't know why I had to rationalize that with the tools that I have, but I was able to rationalize that, yes. He came into the pits alone by himself. Luke Lozama passed him. He slipped in right behind Lozama. Lost position to Ordonez, who is absolute flyer right now. Kev, dude is still in slow mode from Thanksgiving dinner. Absolute right. Absolute right. Luke Lozama gives a big old squeeze to Taj Edwards coming down the main straight. Now Taj, a little bit more patient than not, I would assume, with a 4.7K I rating. Might not retort on this lap. Might perhaps bide his time. But I think that Taj Edwards is actually going for a fuel saving strategy right now and has the provisions to run another hour without stopping. The only car that we've seen run that 1 hour long pit stop on that opening stint was the BMW of Taj Edwards. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Taj Edwards is on a completely different race than everybody else. All the data is pointing to Taj Edwards. That's all I've got to say. Taj Edwards, a man in his own league right now. Right now, he's lapping somewhere in the 217s. But I think he is just toying with us as he's in a fuel saving strategy. I think he can, Kev. I think he can stay out in the last stint to undercut them all. I know you might think that that sounds crazy. But I think, oh no, we've got a spinner. And who would that be? Rodrigo Sola. And that's what happened to Rodrigo there. Delta to the leader. You got it, boss. "48 seconds back." He gained 24 seconds on that first stint alone. If he can do that again, that's about what he needs. Because the pit lane time ended up being 1:08. So 67 seconds, 68 seconds, let's call it. Let's call it 69 seconds. Nice. He's got to stay within 24 seconds of the leader from here. Yes. I think Taj Edwards has got this. I think just like the Backstreet Boys, he's playing games with my heart. Oh, assuming they don't take tires. Ooh. No, because either way, you're going to have one short stint and two long stints. Yeah, cut that service down to 24 seconds, maybe. So call it 50 seconds. That's what I'm guessing. What happened to Jaden Harrison? Jaden Harrison entered pit lane. Jaden just took a pit stop. That's all I see there. Nothing really to report on Jaden Harrison's whereabouts, other than he's taken an additional pit stop to the rest of the field. Doesn't seem like it was damage related, so that promoted Declan Daniel and Luke Lazamba into second and third. Taj Edwards into fourth, Jaden Harrison into fifth. Paul Ordonez into sixth, Benson Sunday in seventh, Andrew Barsan in eighth, Adam Pinero in ninth, Scott Pinero in 10th, Sahinder Singh in 11th, Kurt Moss, Julian Arce, and then we've had a couple of DNFers from there. Nope, we have people in the pit stop, excuse me. Edwards, Kiesix, we'll keep on getting that one wrong. Diego Gutierrez, Rodrigo Sola, You think Edwards? You think Jaden Harrison was getting covered off by Taj? Vice versa? Good battle here between these two drivers. My favorite Panera brother is in P9. You mean Andrew Marsan, who's now in P9? My favorite Panera brother. Say Pinerino. I know you want to. You guys are the worst. Oh my god. Is that guy still in the race? He is in the race. Gosh darn it, I have to keep pronouncing this guy's name. Edwards Keezix. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. You guys smell the smoke that's coming from my brain every time I see that name? Put that up on the big screen for everybody. We'll do a fun little game of try to pronounce this one at home. The driver from Latvia, Edvards Keezix. I apologize in advance for getting your name wrong as someone who's got a very long and hard to pronounce last name. I apologize. Hamburger. The hamburger. Side by side through Stavlot now. Sitting there saying and K Moss. Duke it out. K Moss gets by, sitting there saying there, and this is K Moss's bit of a recovery drive himself, the 823 involved in an earlier incident. This is Jaden Harrison now closing things down with Taj Edwards and Luke Lazama out in front. Jaden Harrison definitely has the pace and the consistency to keep up with this duo. Again, fast lap coming out of Jaden Harrison amongst the trio here. Agreed, Kev. That's why watching this battle is so important to me right now. Because this is a pass for position overall. This is a pass for potentially, no matter which way this ends up going, the battle for P2. Or the battle for the win. This could go a lot of different ways. Taj Edwards been extremely patient behind Luke Lazama. Their best laps are exactly the same, 2:16.57, both set on the last lap around. But how much of that patience has caught up to him? Because now Jaden Harrison closing down. We'll pass him for on-track rights and provisionally the last step of the podium. Oh, big checkup there from Taj. Almost runs into the rear end of Luke Lozama. On board with Jaden Harrison. Looking forward at Taj Edwards next. Taj's last lap was a 2:16.59. Jaden Harrison's last lap was a 2:16.5. Jaden Harrison trying to charge his way through, not nearly close enough at the bus stop chicane. That's someone going down pit road. That'll be Rodrigo Sola. American Muscle trying to challenge down the German counterpart. Down the Kemmel straight into Lacombs, no dice there. Into Brussels now for the 42nd time of running. Can't find the daylight either. Luke Lozama really being the cork in the bottle of this trio now, forcing the hand from the cars behind. Taj Edwards has got to get the hurry up and go on, but he's very content in his fuel saving strategy. Doesn't want to lose the position to Jaden Harrison either, though. Pit stops being made from Newey. And that'll be the second stop for Elder Nui, who had built up a substantial gap. And Luke Lazama's into the pits. That'll unleash Taj and Jaden Harrison in their own battle. Kev Fev says Declan Daniel will most likely come out around their traffic. Should be a good battle for P2 at the end. I believe we're watching the battle for P2 at the end right now. Jaden Harrison within 1/10 of a gap to Taj Edwards in front of him right now. Well, I'm not sure Jaden knows. I'm not sure Jaden is aware that Taj is going to try to make it to the very end of the race. Can Declan make it to the end of the race, though? Lap 26, no. Declan cannot. Here's Jaden Harrison walking right on by Taj Edwards. Now Jaden knows. He would have noticed who pit and who hasn't. That's for sure. But I definitely don't think he would have noticed who pit at the hour mark or not. Nice, Silver Turkey. The multi-stream broadcast. Now there's an idea. I think you're absolutely right, Kev. I think you're absolutely right. I think Taj probably wants to coast as much as possible to make it to the end. Fighting does absolutely nothing for him at this point. He has made his bed, and he must lay with it. Otherwise, he loses a podium. Now, Declan Daniel still needs to pit one more time. Yes, Declan Daniel still needs to pit. This is looking to be a very exciting race with only 18 minutes, 17 minutes remaining left to go. The data really telling a story for me using the SDK iRacing live timing. Now Sahinder Singh chasing down Scott Pinero, the 833, who's up 6 positions right now. Sahinder trying to change things up on Scott tonight. Moss up 4 positions in the 823. Luke Lozama's up 7 positions tonight, along with Diego Gutierrez. Kefev says, but that Ford very fast. Jaden gonna leave him in the dust. Speaking of dust, there's a bit of a moment there for Scott Pinero. Sahinder able to keep it calm, cool, and collected onto the racetrack. Tuck right underneath there, Scott. Andrew Marsan about to get unlapped by Edvards Kizix. Driver in 14th position in the Lamborghini. A long, lengthy recovery drive tonight. Here's Luke Lozama. Next driver up, Benson Sunday. This will be Adam Pinero. 1.1 seconds back. Here's Declan Daniel, who's 30 seconds back from Elder Nui. And only 1.6 seconds back from there is none other than Jaden Harrison right now. And flashy of the headlights as Jaden Harrison finds a way through. Jaden Harrison should be closing down the gap on Declan Daniel within the next 2 laps or so. Benson Sunday leading over Adam Pinero right now. Gap is just 0.6 of a second separating the two drivers. Adam Pinero doing a good job of catching up or staying in touch with Ben Sunday. Last lap around 2:18.3 for Ben Sunday. Adam Pinero with a 2:17.7. Kurt Moss coming down pit road. Scott Pinero coming down pit road. That'll be his 3rd of the evening. Battle between Declan Daniel and Jaden Harrison. Flashy of the headlights. Up the inside line at the bus stop chicane. Can he get stopped in time? Barely even. Declan Daniel reclaims P2. 40 seconds back is the battle between Newey, Declan Daniel, and Jaden Harrison right now. Jacqueline with the only one pit stop on the evening. Can he make an additional 8 minutes of race running with this only one pit stop? You're very right, Silver Turkey. Jaden's car is scraping the ground. getting the most out of it that he possibly can out of Arouge and up the hill into Radiant. Battle for third and second place right now between Declan Daniel and Jaden Harrison. You can see in the background is Taj Edwards running his 2:16.5 right now, potentially unleashing the pace that he has. Luke Lozama pits out from P5. Julian Narcé out from 11th position. There goes Jaden Harrison on the brakes, coming down into Macomb. And Jaden Harrison already gains a 0.8 second gap over Declan Daniel in just a couple of corners. Right now, this is the battle between Ben Sunday and Adam Pinero, that has raged on for quite a few laps itself. .155 on the clock. These 5 minutes remaining. That means this lap plus one more. Declan Daniel slowing down to do 2:17.3. Compared to a 2:16.8 from Taj Edwards. Adam Pinero now in front of Benson Sunday. We might actually get a bonus lap out of this. I believe we might back over to the battle between Benson Sunday and Adam Pinero. Now Declan Daniels back up to speed. He's back up to running 2:16s 6.4. That last lap, best lap of that session. Side by side between Benson Sunday and Adam Pinero. As traffic giveth, traffic taketh away. No, that's not traffic, that's Luke Lozama. Benson Sunday leading over Lozama. Right now, Adam is the one in charge of them all. And Declan Daniel can't make it the extra lap. He's going to come down pit road. So handing over a couple of positions is Declan Daniel to Jaden Harrison and Taj Edwards. Side by side on the entrance of the bus stop chicane. A little deep and groovy there. Now Barney the flagman waves it high and proud. We approach the final lap of this battle. Oh, big moment for Luke Lozama. And a huge slowdown penalty to boot, I can only imagine. And that'll be it for Eldar Nui. Brings it home in P1. Jaden Harrison gonna bring things home in P2. 45 seconds later, Taj Edwards, Declan Daniel, Adam Pinero. I still want to stay on board with this battle, though, between the Pinero, Ben Sunday, and Luke Lozama, because this is definitely spicing up to be one in the closing stages of this race. But truly, Jaden Harrison's going to bring it home in P2. All good things come to those who wait. And we get to see Jaden Harrison cross the line, bring it home in P2 with a spicy battle with Taj Edwards. In the latter stages of the event also battled it out with Declan Daniel, who'll bring it home in P4, who, if not had the additional bonus lap, might have brought it home in P3. Adam Pinero, Ben Sunday, Luke Lozama Andrew Marsan all nose to tail into the bus stop chicane for the final time. Gonna finish just inches of each other. Pinero, Sunday, Lazama in that order for 5, 6, 7, Marsan in 8th. Then they're staying in 9th, K. Moss in 10th, Julian Arce, Diego Gutierrez, Edvard Kizix, Scott Pinero, Rodrigo Sola, Paul Ordonez, Ricardo Serrano Rivera, Coven Thomas Green, Ivan Cook, Daniel D. Roberts, Juan Manuel Carriac, Lewis Hamilton, Luis Miguel Gonzalez, Mikhail Xavier Charles, Monet Duploy. We're on the 25 participants. Let's see the results on screen. And there are your results on the screen, folks. And just got word, no interviews today. So thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. It's been a pleasure to be your host. As always, I am the Real High, aka Sagar Bakshi, and this has been Calypso Racing's 2-hour solo endurance event. And just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you very much for being here, despite it being Turkey weekend. Really appreciate the YouTube chatters as always. Silver Turkey, Kev Fev. And I think I'm not missing anybody. Declan Daniel, everybody who is here in YouTube chat, thank you so much. Have a great night. And as always, make sure you stay safe out there. Bye-bye.